Hey friends, it's Jasmine, and I hope that you all are doing well. Today we are going to be taking another look at the Gospel of Aradia, the Witch's Gospel, Chapter 2. Chapter 2. The Sabbat, the Trigondia, or Witch Meeting, and how to consecrate the supper. Here follows the supper, or what it must consist, and what shall be said and done shall it be consecrated to Diana. You shall take meal and salt, honey and water, and make this incantation. So of course we have it here in Italian. I'm going to be using the English translation. So first we have the consecration and the conjuration of meal. I conjure thee, O meal, who art indeed our body, since without thee we could not live. Thou who, at first seed, before becoming flower, went into the earth, where all deep secrets hide, and then when ground, didst dance like dust in the wind, and yet, meanwhile, didst bear with thee in flitting secrets strange. And yet, airy while, when thou wert in the ear, even as a golden glittering grain, even then the fireflies came to cast on thee their light. Now, there is evident association here of the body of the firefly, which much resembles the grain of wheat. So I think that we have to kind of like take the gospel and decipher it a bit. So I conjure thee, O meal. Meal is in the body, who art indeed our body. Meal is the body, so our physical world, our earthly pleasures, our physical vessel. Since without thee we could not live. Without our physical bodies, our spiritual lives would not be the same. Without our physical bodies, our spirit would not have a vessel. Before becoming flower, went in the earth, where all deep secrets hide. Before becoming flower, so before we become enlightened, we must be in the mud. Before we become the flower, okay, we must go in the earth. We must be the roots and the seed before we become the flower. Didst dance like dust in the wind, and yet meanwhile didst bear with thee in flitting secrets strange. We must allow ourselves to flutter and flow, and be changeable and mutable in the wind, like seeds from the flower, and aid thy growth, because without their help thou could not grow, nor beautiful become. Without spirituality, we cannot grow. Therefore thou dost belong unto the race of witches and of the fairies, and because the fireflies do belong unto the sun, I think that fireflies are very much a metaphor for the magic, you know, of the witches and the fairies. Queen of the fireflies, hurry apace. I love this part especially. Queen of the fireflies, hurry apace. Come to me now, as if running a race. Bridle the horse as you hear me now sing. Bridle, O bridle, the son of the king. Come in a hurry, bring him to me. The son of the king will airly long set free. And because thou forever art brilliant and fair, under a glass I will keep thee while there. With a lens I will study thy secrets concealed, till all their bright mysteries are fully revealed. Yeah, all the wondrous lore perplexed, of this life, of our cross, and of the next. Thus to all the mysteries I shall attain. Yeah, even to that at last of the grain. And when this at last I shall truly know, Firefly, freely I'll let thee go. When the earth's dark secrets are known to me, my blessing at last I will give to thee. So these 6 lines are often considered to be part of a nursery rhyme. Queen of the fireflies, hurry apace. Come to me now as if running a race. Bridle the horse as you hear me now sing. Bridle, oh bridle, the son of the king. Come in a hurry and bring him to me. The son of the king, early let song free. And because thou art forever brilliant and fair, under a glass I will keep thee while there. I think that this passage, if we think about the son of the king, will ere ye let thee free. And because thou art forever brilliant and fair, the Lord of light, the Lord of the sun, the Lord of brilliance, Lucifer, Aradia's father. So this is very much asking for the meal to be blessed in Lucifer's name. I think that also the firefly is very much a metaphor for Lucifer, the Lord of light. Lucifer, the Lord of the sun. Lucifer, the light in the darkness, the firefly. Think about it. When do you see fireflies? At night. So here follows the conjuration of salt. I do conjure thee, salt low, here at noon, exactly in the middle of a stream. I take my place and see the water round, likewise the sun, and think of nothing else. While here beside the water and the sun, for all my soul is turned in truth unto them. I do indeed desire no other thought. I yearn to learn the very truth of truths. For I have suffered long with the desire to know my future and my coming fate. If good or evil will prevail in it, water and sun, be gracious unto me. So if we take this bit by bit and line by line, I do conjure thee of salt here at noon. Noon, the witching hour, be it, noon as in the afternoon or noon as in midnight. I do conjure thee of salt here at noon, exactly in the middle of a stream. Now, stream might be a literal stream, or stream could also be a ley line, a magical ley point, okay? I take my place and see the water round, as in I take my place at the ley line. Likewise, the sun, and think of nothing else. The sun, Lucifer, the Lord of light, think of him and nothing else. Embrace him and nothing else. For all my soul is turned in truth unto them. This is saying that you relinquish your soul unto Lucifer and seek the truth through the Lord of light, through the Lord of illumination. I do indeed desire no other thought. This is saying that you give yourself unto Lucifer and nothing else. I yearn to learn the very truth of truths. We yearn to learn the illumination of the Lord of light, Lucifer, the light bringer. For I have suffered long and with desire to know my future or my coming fate. I think that's kind of cut and dry there. To know my future or my coming fate, if good or evil will prevail in it. Illuminate it, Lucifer, Lord of light. Water and sun, be gracious unto me. Sun and moon, Diana, Lucifer, parents of Aradia. The sun and moon, the light and dark, be gracious unto me. Okay? Now here follows the conjuration of Cain. I conjure thee, O Cain, as thou have rest or peace until thou shalt be freed from the sun where thou art prisoned and must go, beating thy hands and running fast meanwhile. I pray thee, let me know my destiny, and if 'tis evil, change its course for me. If thou wilt grant this grace, I'll see it clear in the water, in the splendor of the sun. And thou, O Cain, shalt tell by word of mouth, whatever this my destiny is to be, and unless thou grantest this, mayest thou ne'er know peace or bliss. Now, this implies keeping himself warm and is proof of the positive that the moon should here be red for the sun, according to another legend that Cain suffers from cold on the moon. So, let's break this down in the Gospel of chapter 2. I conjure thee, O Cain, Cain, the father of all pagans, as thou have rest or peace until thou shalt be freed. We know that Cain has been eternally punished for disobeying the Christian God, right? So, from the sun where thou art prisoned, and must go, beating thy hands and running fast meanwhile. I think that this is an indicator that Cain is always traveling. The daughters of Cain, the sisters of Cain, the mothers of Cain, the sons of Cain can never know their own land. They must always travel. I pray thee, let me know my destiny. So this is asking Cain to give you divination, asking Cain to give you prophecy. I pray thee, let me know my destiny, and if 'tis evil, change its course for me. So this is asking Cain that if your fortune is not what you want it to be, asking Cain to favor you so that you may do your own spell work and your own witchcraft as a child of Cain to alter it. If thou wilt grant this grace, I'll see it clear in the water, in the splendor, in the sun. If you will see this to come into fruition, I will grant this to you in the sun and the moon, in the water and the fire. This is saying that if Cain grants you this, you must give Cain, the father of witches, in a way. You must give Cain all things in the sun and the moon. You must give thanks. And thou, O Cain, shalt tell by the word of mouth, whatever this is my destiny to be. And unless thou grantest this, may thou ne'er know peace or bliss. So this is in a way commanding Cain to give you answers. And this is controversial because it does use a little bit of Solomonic commanding energy over spirits, commanding them to reveal things upon you. Thou shalt also follow the conjuration of Diana. So this would be the main conjuration. I do not bake the bread, nor with it salt, nor do I cook the honey with the wine. I bake the body and the blood and soul, the soul of Diana, that she shall know neither rest nor peace, and ever be in cruel suffering till she will grant what I request, what I do most desire. I beg it from her from my very heart. And if the grace be granted, O Diana, in honor of thee, I will hold this feast. Feast and drain the goblet deep. We will dance and wildly leap. And if thou grantest the grace which I require, then when the dance is wildest, all the lamps shall be extinguished, and we will freely love. And this shall be done, and shall sit down to the supper all naked. All women shall feast over. They shall dance, sing, make music, and then love in the darkness, with the lights extinguished. For it is the spirit of Diana who extinguishes them, and they will dance and make music in her praise. And it came to pass, Diana, after her daughter had accomplished her mission, or spent her time on earth among the living mortals, recalled her and gave her the power that when she had been invoked, having done some good deed, she gave her power to gratify those who had conjured her by granting her or him success and love. And through the power of Diana, we have the blessings as witches, per this Messiah, to bless or curse, with power, friends, or enemies, to do good or evil, and to inspire, motivate, and influence, to converse with spirits, to find hidden treasures and ancient ruins, to conjure the spirits of priests who died leaving treasures, to understand the voice of the wind and the birds, to change water into wine, to divine with cards, to know the secrets of the land and the hand, to cure diseases, to make those who are ugly beautiful, and to tame the wild beasts. Whatever thing should be asked from the spirit of Aradia, that should be granted unto those who are merited with her favor, and thus must they invoke her. So let's break this down a bit. I do not bake the bread, nor with it salt. Well, we do know that the bread is Lucifer, right? And the salt is our will. Nor do I cook the honey with the wine. I bake the body and the blood and soul. We are bringing all of these elements together. The honey, the bread, the wine, the salt. We are bringing these things into sacred space. These are the tools that we are called to utilize. Bring some bread, bring some salt, bring some wine, bring some sugar and some honey. That's all you need to conjure this feast. The soul of the great Diana, that she shall know neither rest nor peace. Once again, we are commanding the great goddess to beckon to our will. In cruel suffering, till she will grant. So until she grants this, she will be in suffering. We are commanding the goddess to beckon to our call. I beg it of her from my very heart. We're coming from the heart. And if the grace shall be granted, O Diana, in honor of thee, I will hold this feast. This is the feast that you hold when your spellcraft and your magic has been fulfilled. We will dance wildly and leap. We're going to party. We're going to party when the spell has been sung and when the bell has been rung and when the gods have favored us, we will party. Then when the dance is wildest, all the lamps shall be extinguished, and we will freely love. It's a celebration between women, between men and women, between children of Aradia, between the messiahs and the prophetesses and the prophets of Aradia. Now, the invocation for Aradia is, Thou do I seek Aradia, 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 Aradia. At midnight, I go into a field, and with me I bear water, wine, and salt. I bear water, wine, and salt. And my talisman, a red small bag, which I hold in my hand. Con tetro, sal, with salt in it. With the water and wine, I bless myself with devotion to implore a favor from Aradia. Aradia is the opener and the closer of the ways. And in this ritual, you are asking for Aradia's blessing through your red pouch of the water, the salt, the wine. And then you do have your bread for Lucifer as well, prepared for you in the garden. This is a formula which is to be slowly recited, emphasizing the repetitions. So, Aradia, the repetitions, right? Water, wine, salt. Water, wine, salt. Each repetition, you speak louder and louder and louder. Aradia, my Aradia. Thou who art daughter unto him, who was most evil of all spirits, who of old once reigned in hell when driven away from heaven, who by his sister did they sire become, but as thou mother did thy repent for her faults, and wish to mate thee to a spirit, who should be benevolent and not malevolent. Aradia, 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 I implore thee by the love which she did bear for thee, and by the love which I too feel for thee, I pray thee grant the grace which I require. And if this grace be granted, may there be one of three signs distinctly clear to me: the hiss of a serpent, the light of a firefly, the sound of a frog. But if you do refuse this favor, Aradia, 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 then may you in the future know no peace or joy, and be obliged to seek me from afar, until you come to grant me my desire. In haste, and then thou mayest return again unto thy destiny therewith. Amen. So breaking this down, thou who art my daughter unto him who was the most evil of all spirits, Aradia, the daughter of Lucifer, the devil, right? Who reigned in hell when driven away from heaven, Lucifer, the fallen angel. Who by his sister did they sire become. Aradia was born of Lucifer and Diana, and wished to mate thee to a spirit who should be benevolent and not malevolent. This is saying that Aradia should be benevolent and not malevolent. While she is her father's daughter and she can be malevolent, she is called to come unto earth for benevolency. Thee by the love which did bear her for thee, and by the love which I too feel for thee, I pray thee grant the grace I require. Once again, we're commanding that Aradia help us in this, asking her to give us the signs of a serpent, a firefly, and a frog. And if Aradia were to turn her back on us, as the witches in the modern day, as Aradia is the prophetess and the messiah of witches, the queen of all witches, the daughter of Lucifer, if Aradia were to turn her back on us, then Aradia herself would face nothing but misery and discomfort, because the reason why she was put on earth was to help us with our craft. So she is devoted to our enlightenment as witches. And that would be the last page of chapter 2. I hope that you all have enjoyed this, and let me know what you think. If you would like to see more of my interpretation of the Gospel of Aradia, please let me know, and make sure that you give this video a like, a thumbs up, or a dislike. Any engagement helps. And until next time, blessed be.